So we'll go. So Katherine, we'll go Katherine, and you, Mr. Mayor, then Lydia, and Jessica, okay? And then to Jeff. Where are you, Jeff? Okay, and to you. Okay, good. Thank you. So. Good morning to everybody. Thank you for joining us today. It is an honor to stand here with Assistant Speaker Katherine Clark, Mayor Brian Arrigo, Senator Lydia Edwards, Representative Jessica Giannino, and Representative Jeff Turco. And we also want to recognize the members of the Revere City Council who have joined us here today. I am thrilled to celebrate the $4 million in congressionally directed spending that Assistant Speaker Katherine Clark and Senator Warren and I have been able to secure for the city of Revere. It is part of more than $140 million in direct federal spending that the Massachusetts Senate and the congressional delegation has brought home for our Commonwealth of Massachusetts. We are here today celebrating the Renaissance of Revere. This $4 million for Revere is a down payment on a long-awaited project that would vastly expand public transit access between Metro Boston, Revere, and the North Shore, connecting the Blue Line and the Newburyport-Rockport commuter rail line. We stand here atop the Wonderland station, the northern end of the Blue Line. The Newbury-Rockport commuter rail line is about a quarter of a mile to our west. Right now, if you take public transit from the North Shore to Logan Airport or Revere Beach, you have to go all the way into downtown Boston, cross over from North Station to Government Center, and ride the Blue Line back out. If you live in Revere or Winthrop and want to take the commuter rail to Salem, Gloucester, or beyond, you also need to go into downtown Boston. This costs the people of Revere and the North Shore time, and it costs them money. The lack of accessible public transit also puts more cars on the road, worsening commutes, increasing carbon emissions, and exacerbating pollution in the majority-minority cities of Revere, Lynn, Everett, and Chelsea along Route 1. It is a prime example of the intersection of transit and environmental injustice. Imagine now a world where Revere, Winthrop, and the cities and towns all up and down the North Shore are better connected. A world where commuters can travel directly between one another without being routed through Boston. That's the world created by connecting the Blue Line and the Newburyport-Rockport commuter line. The $4 million that Assistant Speaker Clark and I and Senator Warren have secured for the city of Revere would put support for the creation of a new commuter rail platform along the Newburyport-Rockport line just to the west of where we stand. And all of this world would be transformed. It would enable the creation of a pedestrian walkway that would cross New Shore Road from the new station directly to the Wonderland Blue Line stop. It is hard to overstate the impact of closing this major gap in our transportation network. First and foremost, it will increase the connection that the communities of Revere, Lynn, East Boston, Chelsea, and Winthrop have to each other and to the rest of the region. Residents who have been impacted by environmental injustice and inaccessible transit, it will vastly improve mobility for commuters, essential workers, and lower-income residents in these gateway cities. The new station and connector will also unite the North Shore and improve regional access to Boston and Logan Airport. Doing so would alleviate regional congestion and carbon emissions from automobile traffic north of Boston, particularly along routes 1 and 1A, and open up public transit to historic tourist sites in Salem, Gloucester, Rockport, and Newburyport. I'm especially proud of how this connector will expand access to Revere. Just to our east is the Christina and John Markey Memorial Pedestrian Bridge, named after my parents. Revere was foundational to my family, and it is a city that is great. When I was a boy, my mother would take my brothers and I down here to Revere Beach on the blue bus from Malden Square, public transit, and then we would sit there on Revere Beach with our peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and our orange Kool-Aid, and then we would take public transit back to Malden. Well, that's what Revere still is. This is the public beach of the people. This is where the blue-collar families of Greater Boston enjoy God's great gifts. And that is what we are proposing here today, that we expand that access, that we make it possible for people to travel easily through Revere, to Revere, and to wherever else they want to go without having all of the inconveniences that are tied to this existing transportation plan that we have lived with for 100 years. So this funding will cut that transportation Gordian knot. It will once and for all end this congestion, this impossibility of making it easy for people to travel. And it's a continuation of the now $80 million of federal money that has come to Revere for the transformation of this beach, the transformation of this city. And we are now moving closer and closer towards the finalization, the completion of this vision. This $4 million is one of the key final steps in completing the puzzle that has been this vision for Revere being at the center of the North Shore for generations. So it is just great to be here with all of the leaders of the city, led by you, Mr. Mayor, and by my partner in the United States Congress, our great Assistant Speaker, Katherine Clark, a resident of Revere, Massachusetts.
Very newly minted, but extremely proud of that moniker. Thank you all and good morning. I want to start off by thanking the incredible leaders standing with me here today. Senator Markey, Mayor Arrigo, Senator Edwards, Representatives Giannino and Turco, and also to Jerry and Ira, members of our City Council here in Revere. I am so fortunate to have you as friends and partners to work towards a brighter and more equitable future for the city of Revere. When we started having conversations about this new opportunity for community project funding, I came to the mayor, our former state senator, Joe Boncory, and our municipal and community leaders and asked them what investments we could make that would really make a difference in the lives of families in Revere, Winthrop, and the region. And the Wonderland multimodal connector was the resounding response. This project has it all. The transit benefits that will modernize the Commonwealth's commuter rail network, improvements to regional connectivity, reduction in traffic and congestion on our roadways, and in turn reduction of carbon emissions, and economic benefits for the businesses throughout the greater Boston region. Simply put, this is a game changer for our community and for the entire Commonwealth. And I was excited to join many of you just on the deck below in July to celebrate the inclusion of this $4 million project in the House Appropriations bill. And I am thrilled that Senator Markey and Senator Warren were able to shepherd this through the Senate, and our Senator Markey is with us today to celebrate in making this next step in making this vision a reality. By linking the Newburyport and Rockport commuter rail line and the MBTA Blue Line, the Wonderland Connector will transform public transportation accessibility for Revere and the entire region. It is also an important investment in economic justice, connecting the lower income communities of Revere, East Boston, Chelsea, and Winthrop to major transit hubs and commercial centers. We are bringing communities together and creating opportunity for all. And this isn't the only project receiving vital funding in the 5th District. I was proud to secure over $11 million for 10 projects across my district to improve our climate readiness, invest in higher education, and expand accessibility for community healthcare services, and so much more. All of it in partnership with our delegation in the Senate. And like the Wonderland Connector, these projects will improve the lives of residents in the 5th District and the long-term prosperity of our communities. Democrats are listening to our leaders on the ground, our local partners, in delivering results and rebuilding a better America for everyone. The funding for this project was included as part of our 2022 federal budget, a budget that prioritizes the needs of American families and American workers. We are putting them first, and there's no better example than the Wonderland project today. So thank you again for everyone here, and for everyone watching at home. This wouldn't be possible without your long-term advocacy and partnership. And now I am honored to turn over the mic to one of our incredible local leaders, my neighbor, my friend, my mayor, Brian Arrigo.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you, Congresswoman Clark, for that intro. I thought I knew pressure being the mayor, and then when the Assistant Speaker of the House of Representatives moves into your neighborhood and is a constituent, that is real pressure. But thank you, Senator Markey, and your team for organizing today's event and convening of local stakeholders. I'd like to also recognize Senator Edwards, Representative Giannino, Representative Turco, as well as our City Council President, Jerry Visconti, and Ward 2 City Councilor, Ira Novoselsky. At this point, I don't think anybody needs to, or I need to reiterate to anyone in attendance today the ways in which both Revere Beach and our public rail lines have shaped the city's identity for over 100 years. And thanks to our partners at the state and federal levels, we've made tremendous strides in the last 10 years to bring the city of Revere, bring Wonderland, Waterfront Square into the 21st century. We've been able to do this while paying homage to our unique past and addressing key transportation and environmental justice issues. The $4 million investment in the congressional omnibus towards the Wonderland multimodal station will get the ball rolling on a project that the city of Revere has dreamt about for several years. With about 1,000 feet separating the Blue Line and the commuter rail, Revere and the entire region has suffered from a lack of connectivity and a real unrealized potential. Revere's residents, particularly those that rely on public transportation and those that work hard to keep the region running, have been the ones with the most to lose in all of this. Our connectivity to Boston is unmatched, but if we try to go north, or if folks are trying to come south, complicated transfers and indirect travel significantly impedes regional flow. And from where we stand today, we can see the commuter rail, and we can see North Shore Road right alongside it. During rush hour, the commuter rail whizzes by while North Shore Road chokes up with traffic, which everyone hates, and ultimately wastes countless hours of commuters' time every day. So a transit hub and a commuter walkway would alleviate the pass-through traffic that affects the city of Revere and affects our quality of life every day. Getting cars off the road will also significantly advance our local and our regional sustainability goals. So today marks another great step on the path towards a brighter future for not only our city but for our entire region. And these secured funds, thanks to Senator Markey, Senator Warren, and Congresswoman Clark, now mean that the time is here for us to roll up our sleeves and get to do the work. And I look forward to convening in the future with the leaders that are behind me, obviously the folks from the MBTA and other state leaders and our residents as we yet again achieve what was once thought unimaginable. And with that, I will pass it off to our good friend and newly elected state senator from Boston and representing the city of Revere and the town of Winthrop, Senator Lydia Edwards. Thank you.
Got it. Just showing you my incredible reflexes. Yes, my name is Lydia Edwards. I'm the state senator. I'm honored to represent Revere, Winthrop, several parts of Boston, and Cambridgeport. And I honestly am just so excited that you see this incredible delegation for Revere. If you look at everybody here, from the city council to the state delegation to the state representatives to our state senator to our mayor and all the way up to our federal delegation, what you're seeing is the team that it takes, but also the dedicated public servants, that when we all sit at the same table, when we come from all of those different perspectives, we get things done. We get big things done together. That's what this takes. Traffic is a problem, but it's also a reflection of the lack of planning and sometimes the disjointed conversations that we've often had, sometimes because we're siloed in so many of the different issues that we have. So now today you're seeing when all of us come together, we approach this for what this is, a great opportunity. We're setting the mold and we're demonstrating to people that we can do this. We ultimately are going to be able to create a regional traffic plan that makes sure that we not just move people, but we move economies, that we move futures generationally. That's what this is going to do. This is a down payment not just on infrastructure, but on our green future and on our children's future. So many people lose hours of their lives just moving, not even working, not even getting their kids to daycare, just trying to move from point A to point B. This is going to be life-changing. It's also going to create huge health impacts. I live in East Boston. I'm at the part of the T right before you go across the harbor into downtown Boston. So Revere being on one bookend and East Boston being on the other, we're also on the different route of the highway. Our lungs are impacted by the amount of cars that come through every single day because people are not on public transportation. So this is going to impact the lungs, the health of the region as well. This is exactly how we want our government to be moving. Down payments on our health, down payment on a green future. It's going to create jobs, and it's also going to tap into the immense amount of potential that we've not been able to tap into because people have been sitting for hours in their cars. Now they're going to be thinking about all the things they could be doing, not just at their jobs, but the new businesses that they want to start, and also thinking about starting them here in Revere, because our future is deeply connected. Suffolk Downs is another part of this conversation. 2 T stops on Suffolk Downs will be impacted by this. We want people to be using the T, but we also have to build a T that people want to use. So this is exciting for me. I'm honored as a state senator. I actually am the only state senator I checked that has all T lines All the T lines connect in my checked. I checked. I have them all. What does this mean? From the green line to the blue line, and one day the red and blue line will connect. We're talking about a regional plan that's going to make sure that our economy thrives and survives, and we're going to get healthier because of it. So I want to thank our federal delegation. I want to thank my colleague, my dear friend, my predecessor, Joe Boncory, who was part of this conversation. And I look forward to working continually. You should see the delegation is very strong, and clearly so is the future of Revere. So thank you. And now I have the honor of turning this over to my dear friend, State Representative Jessica Giannino.
Thank you, Senator. Thank you. All right. Good morning, everyone. First and foremost, thank you to our federal delegation, Senator Markey, Congresswoman Clark. Thank you so much for being here today. I also want to thank our mayor and local officials that are here today, Council President Visconti, Councilor Novoselsky, and our senators and my colleagues in the state government. As the state representative for the 16th Suffolk District and a lifelong resident for the city of Revere, I am so excited for this project and the opportunities that it will bring to the city of Revere, as well as our neighboring communities. Revere, along with other gateway and environmental justice communities, have long faced the brunt of pollution and everything it brings to our city, traffic congestion, and everything caused by daily transit. This multimodal transit facility will ease the burden of both factors and improve the quality of life for the people in Revere. In addition, the construction and future operation of this project will serve as a catalyst for job opportunities and economic stimulation, making it easier for low-income residents to commute to work, as well as North Shore residents to come to Revere and enjoy all that we have to offer, especially the gem of our city, America's first public beach. The project will increase connectivity for the environmental justice communities of Revere, East Boston, and Chelsea to other major transit hubs. It will benefit the essential workers in these gateway cities and create vastly improved mobility for low-income residents, finally connecting East Boston, Chelsea, Revere, and Lynn. This missing link will serve to unite Revere and its neighbors and improve regional access to nearby Logan Airport as well as the city of Boston. The ability to travel north by commuter rail to popular tourist places such as historic Salem, where I went to college — this would have been lovely when I commuted to Salem State every day — the beaches of Gloucester, Rockport, and Newburyport will greatly add to the lore of Revere's hospitality industry centered around Revere Beach Reservation. This important project will close a major gap in the regional mass transportation network and reduce carbon emissions along this corridor. The number one concern I hear from the residents of Revere is traffic. This project is a necessary first step in alleviating that problem. Thank you all for being here today. Now it is my pleasure to introduce my partner in the legislature, the gentleman from Winthrop, Representative Turco.
Thank you very much, Senator Markey. A true son of Revere and Malden, but a true, you've never forgotten where you came from, and we appreciate that. Assistant Speaker Clark, welcome to God's country of Revere, and thank you for moving in and being our constituents, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Mayor, thank you for your leadership. All you need to do is look out at this beach to see the leadership of the people behind me and the transformation that's happened. My colleague, Senator Edwards, thank you for your leadership, and Rep. Janino, and Mr. President Visconti, Councilor Novoselsky. This is transformative, this project, and sometimes we overuse that word. But this weekend I was at a St. Patrick's Day party, and a gentleman from Marion, Mass. said to me, geez, I've never been to Winthrop before. It was always too much of a pain in the neck to get up here and to drive from Marion to Winthrop. But then when you realize the benefits of the big dig and how it's made people's lives a lot easier. And then the other day we saw the extension of the Green Line, opening up another set of possibilities, and we see the commuter rail extensions that are being talked about, the east to west or west to east rail that is being talked about. Depending on if you're from Springfield, it's the west to east rail. And you look at the amount of traffic, and you look at the amount of people that are here, but you also think about the history of Revere Beach. When Charles Elliott came up with the idea of a public beach, the first in the nation 126 years ago, he wanted to have a beach for the people, the working class people that made up this community and the surrounding communities, where they could come and they could enjoy a family day like Senator Markey talked about he did when he was a little kid on the blue bus coming here to Revere Beach, like I did as a kid sitting here on Revere Beach. And you talk about this intermodal transportation, multimodal transportation, and the idea that while we're building up these new condominiums and raising, bringing new people into Revere, we also want to make sure we don't lose the vision that Charles Eliot had for our beach, and we want to make sure this beach is always open to the people. And so this multimodal transportation is going to set up a few things. It's going to help us reach our very aggressive climate change and carbon emission standards that we've set for our Commonwealth, but it's also going to open up new possibilities for young Ed Markeys and young Jeff Turcos to come here to Revere Beach, not just from Revere, but from Lynn and from Gloucester and from Rockport and Newburyport. And I think it's such an exciting opportunity for the people of this area. And again, it's visionary leadership. 126 years later, we're still talking about Charles Eliot. Well, 126 years, long after I'm gone, we'll be talking about Ed Markey and Speaker Clark for their visionary leadership to help make this project possible. Thank you very much. I appreciate your time. Have a good day.
Yeah, you have questions? Anyone have any questions? Well, now this money serves as the foundation for partnering with the state in order to secure all of the remaining funding that is going to be necessary to finish off this project. So this is a classic local, state, federal partnership, but this is the foundation. And now upon that we will build the partnership with the state. Mr. Mayor.
I'd say, for us, the work begins. I mentioned in my remarks that we look forward to continuing the conversation. I think now is the time, now that the federal delegation has done their job, now it's our job on the local level to make sure that we see this cross the finish line and we actually have a multimodal center and we have a commuter rail station that it connects the North Shore and connects everyone to beautiful Revere Beach.
Any other questions? Thank you all. Yeah. Yes. Yes. My office is working with the family in order to try our best to make sure that we can protect them, to protect their family members, and we're very hopeful that we will be able to resolve that case in a way in which that family is given all of the protections which it deserves in this time of crisis in Ukraine. We haven't had any Ukraine refugees come to Massachusetts yet, but we have to roll out the red carpet. We have to make sure that we are a place where tens of thousands of people can feel that they can come here, be safe, know that they will be protected, and give them a place to stay. And if they want to then go back to Ukraine, they should be able to do it. But if they want to stay here, they should be able to do so as well. We have to be a place here in Massachusetts that rolls out the red carpet, as our whole country should roll out the red carpet. We did it for those from Afghanistan. We should do it for those from Ukraine. Massachusetts has always been a place where refugees can find a home. Speaker Clark, would you like to say something?
Sure. Thank you, Senator Markey. I am so thrilled with this announcement from President Biden that we will be accepting 100,000 Ukrainian refugees. This is part of our leadership for the globe. This is what we do in this country. We welcome those who have to escape a war-torn country. And this is part of President Biden reestablishing us as a country that welcomes refugees. It is in our DNA to open our hearts and our homes for these people. So we look forward to welcoming these refugees, and I'm very grateful to this White House for all the work they have done to bring together the NATO countries and our allies in this time of crisis for Ukraine.
Any other questions? Thank you all so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.